I'm going to talk about applying to scholarships. Last year, I won over $50,000 amount in scholarships, not just one, but a few. And I'm going to talk about how you can do the same. So whether you're a grade 12 student applying to them now or you're preparing to in a couple years, this video is for you. So I'm in my first year at the University of British Columbia, UBC, and a large amount of how I'm paying for it is from the scholarships that I was able and so fortunate to get in my grade 12 year. But going into grade 12, I applied to so many scholarships. I was constantly applying. And there were a lot that I didn't win because I didn't know how to effectively apply. So that's what we're talking about. And I thought I was eligible for a lot of these, and I still didn't win. I would read the criteria, that's me, I can see myself, and I would apply. And I thought that I was writing these great responses, and then I would get these rejection emails. And I was just like, oh, is it me? Am I writing it wrong? And I was, because there's a lot of tricks and ways that I'm having some chia seeds, by the way, as a snack. So I'm going to talk about them because there are a lot of myths that people around me were telling me in my grade 12 year. And one of them is don't apply to as many as possible. Everyone kept telling me they were apply to as many scholarships. Even if you're a little bit eligible, just apply because it can't hurt, which is true. But also, my problem was that I was applying to so many scholarships while balancing. I had a part-time job, I was volunteering, and I had a lot of classes. I had a full senior year class set. So I was just I was in a bunch of clubs. I was president of my student council. I was Interact. I was in newspaper. I just all of these things. They add up, and then you don't have as much time to give each scholarship. So I was rushing them. So you have to just focus. Find a few. Focus on the ones that you're most eligible for. I would recommend making a priority list. Let's say you have 5 scholarships and 2 of them you are 100% eligible for. The other, another 2 you're kind of, and then 1 you're stretching it. Make a priority list. Be I'm going to apply to this one first and then work your way down so that you can give the most attention and focus, that you're not your attention isn't divided. I know so many people who what they did is that they would take the same essay and try and put it into every single scholarship that they apply to, but that doesn't work because scholarships are looking for different things. And if you're not answering their question, if you're answering a different question underlying, even if you change the words a bit, the structure, what you're saying is the same essentially. And so the scholarships are going to know that. But what you can do is maybe can cut, if you write a part about something that can be applied to anywhere, if I write a part about being part of student council, that's not directly answering one question, then I could, it's a little, I could copy paste that into another one. But just put your full focus on one scholarship and just don't think about the rest. And then that is how you can give the best response and the best application. And I think I've already said this, but answer the question when you're doing your essay. Don't dance around it. Don't be oh, giving things actually clearly, if they say, how has this shaped your life? Be this is how it shaped my life. Don't just be ambiguous, because sometimes I've been in the same boat where that feels you're doing oh, it's so much better writing. I don't want to say it, but sometimes you do have to say it. And that is what a lot of teachers told me, is that just say it, just answer, because they're looking for that answer. They're not looking for you to dance around it. And then also, when you're writing your response, be humble. Don't be humble. Don't be humble at all. But also, you don't want to be bragging and listing your achievements, but you have to brag a little bit because they don't know you. They don't know your life. They don't know your achievements. They don't know what you've done. So you want to show them the best version of yourself. And to do this, you have to boost your ego a little bit. You have to be yes, I did this, and the significance was this. You have to make yourself, sell yourself, essentially. You can't be oh, yes, but I also had a lot of help from my team. Yes, you can say that, but you can't be oh, I was just helping. It wasn't very significant. It was just a small thing. I only did bake sales and they only raised a few $100s. It didn't really do anything. Don't do that. Just talk yourself up a little bit, but not too much. You have to know, like, you can see when you're writing it, just like read over it, and you can see when it's like too much, not enough. Also, when you're writing your essays, don't just barf up information. So, for my first scholarships I was applying to, I started writing them, which is like maybe that's just like me, but I didn't really know where to start, so I just started. So I would just start barfing out all of this like blah 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 blah, and that did not work for me because it made me stressed, and it's just like it's not a very good look to have no clear path of where you're going. Like just to be throwing all of this information out there with no reason why or where it goes. So I would recommend taking your time, like really reflect on the prompt, and then just write out a list of what you want to say. So like really think about it. So you're not like, oh, also I did this. Oh, I forgot to mention. Like you don't want to be doing that. Your scholarship. So then organize it with an outline, just like you do for like an English essay. Just like I love making outlines. I hate it and I love it because I hate making it in the moment, but I love using it later. So it's like a help to your future self. In university, my professors are always saying, like, make an outline. When you sit down to take an essay exam, always make an outline before. An outline is so, so important because then you know what you're going to say, when you're going to say it. You know when this information is going to come up, and it will just like, it will be your savior. And then once you have written it, just like take your time. Don't rush it. Really like follow your outline, do your work, because you want to do this before time. You don't want to do this a day before your scholarship. You want to have time, leave time for yourself, because after you write it, you're going to reread it and you're going to edit. And then you're going to ask your teachers, your friends, your family, anyone who you think will not handhold. So you want someone who will tell you, like, this sentence doesn't make sense. You don't want someone that's nice too to have a cheerleader. Cheerleaders are great, but also make sure you have someone who will be honest with you and will hold you accountable. I asked a lot of my teachers to look over my scholarship essays. I asked my friends, I asked my family, and it helps so much to have that other perspective because I find that when I write a piece, I'm like editing, I'm reading it over and over and over again, the mistakes that I've made, they become so normal to me that I can't spot them. Like I genuinely I can't see like I can see mistakes in my writing, of course. But when I'm in that mindset, it's so difficult for me to see that, oh, this sentence isn't working, I have to cut it because I want that to be there because I think that the sentence works. That's why I put it there, of course. But if you hear it from someone else, like they'll be able to see the mistakes way more clearly. So like I could not recommend getting someone to review it more. And then also for finding scholarships, do a lot of research because scholarships that are eligible to you are out there, but they are just so hard to find. Like I remember I would see a scholarship and I would start reading it and I'd be like, oh, this is me, like check, check, check. And then I get to the last point and I'm like, oh, that's not me. So I have to go keep looking. And they're so hard to find, I think, but there's like scholarships are everywhere. Like they're so common, trust me. So ask. I would ask people, like, I would ask my teachers, I would ask my principals, I would ask my office, I'd ask them, hey, do you know about any scholarships? Like, where can I apply? Where can I find these? And they would help me. Also, like, my school, I don't know if most high schools do this. I don't like the glare in the back. But my high school would put in the announcements every day. They'd be like, oh, we have a new, like, if they had, not every day, but if they had a new scholarship, they'd be like, oh, this is the new scholarship. Check out this website. And I would always click on the website unless I could already tell that I was not eligible. Like, if it was something that was like, oh, only for people who are going into science or engineering scholarship, then I'm obviously not eligible for that because I'm studying humanities. So I wouldn't go onto those. But if it sounded even a little bit like something that I could apply for, I would look it up and I would, if I was eligible, I would apply. So like, don't ignore those. And don't let, so it's a big mistake and a really big regret I have in my grade 12 year is that scholarships became, for a short period of time, became my main focus. And a lot of other things in my life suffered because of that, like relationships with friends, my own schoolwork. Like I had a pretty heavy academic load while I was applying for scholarships. I was taking high math classes, I was taking English, social sciences. I was taking a lot of very academic, rigorous classes. So I just like finding the balance with that was pretty difficult for me. I was also working part time, so I was working 2 days a week. which isn't that much, but it was still a bit of a commitment. And then I was volunteering 1 day a week. So it was just, and every other time that I had, I was working on the scholarships. And something that I did in my second semester, which I was very, very grateful for, if you guys have like the 2 semester system, you can do this too, is I got an online class, which I don't think you can do anymore, but then I switched it into a textiles class. Textiles is not easy, but it is, and it's a really fun class. And I did it because I was interested, but also it allowed me to have less homework. Because in textiles, you do the work there in class, you go there, you sew, you do your projects, but it's nothing that you take home unless you have a sewing machine and you're behind, obviously. But then I would like, and I did actually fall a bit behind in textiles because I'm just a very slow sewer. Like, I like to, if I make a small mistake, I'm going to go back and I'm going to stitch rip it and I'm going to fix it. So for me, it was still a bit of stress because I would have to sometimes go in at lunch and work on my projects. So I would stay on top of the class. But just having less homework to take home with me helped so much because then I was able to take that time and give it to my scholarships. Also, in your responses, not everything you've done has to be mentioned. So you don't have to list every single accomplishment you've had. You don't want to overwhelm the scholarship. Like, if you have an amazing, extensive resume, then that's incredible. Like, congratulations. But you don't want to just be like listing your achievements. So just like look at what is relevant. Read the prompt, look at the scholarship, like if it's a company, if it's an organization, look at what they're looking for. I remember for one of my scholarships, they actually gave a list of values that they were looking for. So I really I used those values to write the best response. Also, like kind of in the same line, don't tell your qualities, don't tell your achievements. Like, you can tell your achievement, but like, you don't want it to be a list of achievements. So don't say like I'm responsible. You want to show, don't tell. Oh, I always struggle with the show don't tell theory in writing. So basically what you want to do is you want to give an example. Let your example speak for you. So instead of saying I'm responsible and blah blah blah, be like, this is a time where this happened. Like, tell a story that shows those qualities in you, because that's going to be so much stronger than just saying it. And then also, when you're writing your essay, be positive. So you don't want to just list like awful things that happened to you and like be so pessimistic and negative in your response. You want to be like excited and happy and looking forward to the future and hopeful, because that's what the scholarships want to see. And then you also want to focus on your own growth. So the scholarships, they want to see how you've evolved. So how you're growing and how you're going to keep growing, and that you're capable of just like keep getting better. And that you have values and future goals that align with your scholarship. And then also, when you're writing it, this is a tip that I used a lot, is to look at the prompt, like analyze it, find the keywords, find the key qualities that they want to see, and keep those in mind when you're writing it. And if you can, put them in your essay. To be like, if they say this word, if you said they're mentioning this quality over and over again, make sure that you show how you have that quality, because that's what they want to see. And also take like key themes that they give. And you want to show who you are. So, like I said, don't just list your achievements. It is not a resume. Maybe they'll ask you to attach your resume. But often, I think, like with a lot of scholarships that I was applying for, there were different essay sections. So, one of them was tell me your achievements. So, save that for that in the main scholarship where they want to know who you are. Tell them who you are. Don't just, because your achievements are not who you are. They're great. They're definitely an asset. Like if you run a bunch of clubs, but that's not who you are. So you want to really show who you are as a person. And then my last piece of advice would be to just show who you are. Just like, and know who you are going into the scholarship, and tell them who you are, why, what makes you stand out, what makes you shine, why you deserve the scholarship, like how the scholarship is going to help you, and just where you go from here. Like, tell them your success story, because you're going to have a success story. So you have to be confident in that because they want to see. Okay, that's all I had for now. But good luck if you're applying for a scholarship. I hope that something that I said in this video resonated with you and helps you in your response and your application. And yeah, if anyone wants to see more scholarship videos or specific scholarships I applied to, and I could even show you some of the essays I wrote, then let me know. Okay, good luck.